everyone, and welcome to Stitching Ain't Easy. My name is Ashley. Thank you so very much for joining me today. Today we have another, it hasn't been that long since we had one of these. We have another Sentro knitting machine unboxing. So I had one of these not very long ago, and I had the knitting machine less than 48 hours, made a few hats on it, and the gears started messing up. It started like grinding the gears. My husband took it apart to see if it was like, it needed oil, needed cleaned, if like a fiber, like yarn got stuck in there, because that's very possible. And there were like scratches and gashes in the sides, and like white fiber, like white plastic shavings all over from where it had been grinding into the side. So yes, so the one that I got, something was going on with it, so exchanged it, Amazon, and got this one. So this one, I don't think my other box had this. Hang on just a second. What does this say? It says new. Maybe it did, but it just has a picture down here of a pillow. I guess you could use panels, and it's cabled, which I've seen a few videos. There are a lot of videos, which I figure you guys probably YouTube. If you need to find something, it's on here. There are a bunch of videos that show how like they drop stitches and then do like make cables with that. I've mentioned that I have a smaller. I have a Sentro. I love this one because it's bigger. My other one was I think it's only 40 pins, and this one is 46 or 48. Sure. But anyways, this makes like hats that are big enough for adults and such, and the other one, it was mostly smaller hats. But anyway, the whole fact that the one, I don't know if you can do it the whole way down, but that pillow makes me think that you can, because before just now, I thought you can only do it for part of it. But that whole drop stitch thing, I'm wondering if you can just, if you guys know, let me know, just do a cable the whole way down it, and then I can still maybe use the smaller one, because I can use it for scarves and for like little kid hats, and which, I mean, you can use different yarn obviously, and it can be for an adult hat, don't get me wrong, but yeah. So anyway, let me know if y'all know, I guess. So alright, so you just go ahead and unbox this. I don't know, I thought about not doing this because I just did this, but then it was just like, why not, I guess. Also, maybe y'all want to watch it the second time around, maybe you weren't here the first time. It all works out. But yeah, if I can do that though and use the other one, that would be amazing. Smaller thing. Okay. This way. Alright. I'm excited. I didn't realize how much I missed having one until I got the one the other day, and I was just like, this is so much fun. So the back of the box looks like, set that right here just in case. Your instructions before you get started, make sure your tension's correct, all that stuff. That over here. Here is some, they give you 4 skeins of like waste yarn. For some projects you use waste yarn, so they give you 2 bigger skeins and 2 smaller skeins of waste yarn. It's really soft too. The hat that I make though, this right here. The hat that I make, I honestly really don't use waste yarn. I just because whenever you make your first row, that's one that you can just cinch closed. And then whenever you are finishing it off, if you just go ahead and like stitch through everywhere and stitch through all the loops and finish it off, then you can just fold it, cinch it, hat, and so you don't really have to have waste yarn, so I haven't really been using it as much, which is kind of nice. So okay. This is it. Crinkle alert, everyone. Has the legs, your hooks and needles and such, your suction cup, and a screwdriver. And then the beauty that is the knitting machine. So, alright. It's 48 pins. That's what this one is. I think the other one has 40. I know it's smaller. It might be 42. Oh, I don't know. Okay. Whoop. Am I good? Mercy. Okay. That same thing right there, just in case. Alright. So, this is what it is. This is what it looks like. Put the legs on it. This is where you can do either a tube or a panel, and so you switch that. Add the legs on here, and then yeah, just making sure everything looks okay. Anyway, this is your row counter right here, which is really nice as it goes around with this peg right here, the one white one. That's whenever it counts your row. So okay, I'm gonna add the legs, come back. I have some green Mary Maxim yarn right here that I'm going to work in, and we're gonna start a hat. I don't know if we'll finish it. We'll see how far we make it. So alright, I'll be right back. Okie doke. My hair is a mess because of using screwdrivers and stuff, you know. Alright, let's see. Okay. So, got it together. Here we go. Sentro with legs and your tension gauge. So, alright. Set it on here. Move Alice. So it also comes with was it 3.5? I don't. Yeah, 3.75 hook, just in case you need to grab some of your stitches, and some yarn needles, which are important. All right, so we're gonna do. Let's scooch closer. Box is in the way. Hello. Hello. All right. Maybe that's good. All right. So they have grips and things to grip it onto your table, but yeah. Crafting caravan or lights. So we're gonna go back around to our first. Which is right here, this white one. Right here. And let me use some of the Mary Maxim Best Value, because this is a really soft yarn. It's going to be really good for this. This is the color Leaf. It is a premium acrylic. So, alright. Put this down here, because gravity is your friend, right? Get, I don't know, a foot or two out, because you're going to need this for your closing end and to sew your hat together, your project, whatever you're into. So alright, and do that. You're going to loop your yarn around right here. There are a million videos on YouTube about like how to do this, so I'm just going to kind of give you the basic rundown. Nothing too fancy. We're just going to play around and make a hat. So alright. So that one went in front on the white. So the next hook, you're going to go behind and in front, behind and front, behind and front. And make sure that it's pulling them down and grabbing the stitches. See or not. Just go slow at first. You know, they have like You can either fix your handle yourself, or on Etsy they have different things that you can purchase to like add a screwdriver, or a screwdriver, like a screw gun, a drill, in order to make just kind of the hook or the handle part easier. Okay, so now we're back around to our first white hook. This one in front is a behind. We went behind it, and so then we're going to go in front of this one, and we're going to go pull it down just a little bit and go in front of this pink one, our next hook, and then put your yarn in your little gauge right here, your tension gauge. Just pop it in there, and then use, let me turn this heater off real quick. Okay, so it's kind of chilly out, so all right, and it's, well, currently sleeting, getting ready to snow, so yeah, out here in the crafting caravan had the heater on. So okay, then we're going to use our tension gauge, and this is kind of a thinner yarn, so you can kind of decide. I may actually move it to the first. There's different sizes on here for your tension. That one's probably best. Okay, so we're going to clear our row counter, so make sure it's at 0, and then at first we're just going to slowly crank it around, make sure that all of them catch, and then eventually we'll be able to go a little bit faster, and that'll be a really fun time. Right, so at first just make sure, see if you guys can see, but also make sure that I can see what I'm doing here. So okay, make sure that your tension isn't too tight on the yarn either. Like if it's a new scheme, then just make sure. Whoop. Okay. Okay, so there's our first loop, our first round. Pull this out a little bit, and once you get kind of further into your yarn, you don't have to pull it out. I just like to do that. I mean, you probably don't really have to. If it's pulling it to where it's too taut, then you probably do, but yeah, I just like to pull a little bit out, and then as it gets smaller, then you don't really have to do that so much, so that's nice. So, okay. And keep going. Around and around she goes. Where she stops, 110 rows. Right, so anyway. Sometimes you have that, like little things you have to kind of make sure, because you don't want it to get on here. You don't want it to make sure that it doesn't get on here where your tension is and then get a knot or something, you know, and so just pay attention every now and then, just for fun. Alright, cool. Keep going around and around, and once you know that it's kind of catching, you can start to go a little bit faster. So they have the drill attachment and all of that, which is really pretty cool. Make hats like nobody's business. So I also plan on using this not only for craft fairs, but for Hats Not Hate. Make some blue hats up. So just keep going around and around. I'm going to come back in a minute, and I'll go back to the first. Just because. Alright. So that right there, whoop, that was our first one. We went past it. That is 7 rows. See, our yarn is starting to work out there. I don't have to pull on it so much. So I'm going to go ahead and do, I'll come back, and I guess I could get in the frame. That might be good. I will come back at 110 rows and show you guys what we have. I usually make them 110 or 130. It just kind of depends. Usually the like Karen Simply Soft and the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek and things like that, I end up being able to use less because the yarn's softer and somehow it stretches more. I don't know. With more like acrylic, like big twist value and things like that, I have to do more rows. So, alright, I'll come back in a minute. I'm gonna watch videos while it's already propped up here and everything else. And so, anyway, watch a little YouTube while y'all are watching a little YouTube. And I'll meet you guys back in a minute. Alright. Okay. Did it. Counter. Anyway, it says 110 rows. So I'm gonna trust it. Just kidding. I kept looking. It's 110 rows. And this is what we have. This is the wrong side of our stitch, but that's okay. Also, I had this rolled up a little bit and then laying in here, and then that helps kind of pull down for your tension. That helps. Some people use clips and things. I've tried that, but it never quite worked for me. So I find that this is the best for me personally, just to kind of do this and let it just gravity take care of itself. So from here, what we're going to do is, I don't know where my scissors went. Alright. Okay, doke. From here, we're just going to snip our yarn. I have, let's see. This is how much of that skein I used. I have another one of these, so I have enough to make another hat probably, but not enough. Out of this hat, I could probably make a toddler hat. I've made those a few times to do like 60 rows or something like that, or like 80, usually like, well, 60 if you're going to do like a single crochet or something, 50 if you're going to do like a single, you know, some sort of a border. But if you're going to do like this where we fold it together, you're going to want to do probably 80-ish. But anyway, I should have enough to make something, maybe. If not, I can make a frog. Alright, fun. So now get one of our handy dandy yarn needles, thread our yarn as you do. Okay, now we're going to go through, and I'm not going to show you the whole thing because like I said, there's a million different tutorials on YouTube, and this isn't really a tutorial at all because this isn't my pattern for a hat, so I'm not going to show you how to make like the whole thing. I will link that down below, so if you guys want to watch that, there's a tutorial for that. So okay, it's going to go behind this first hook and go just a few stitches in, not too far because you don't want to pull your work by any means, and you're just going to start gathering those stitches from the front of each. Let's see, let me show you guys. They are attached. Just a second. Okay, this is probably going to be sideways, so I'm just going to do it for a second so I don't make you guys nauseous. But like on here, once we turned our crank, these stitches are like cast off, I guess is what knitters would call it, right? So we're just going to hook those. I don't know if I can do this with one hand because it's easier just to kind of do it, you know, with two hands. We're just going to do that. Pull it through. Whoop, maybe, yeah. Anyway, also I don't want to mess this up. You're gonna do that and then pull it through, pull it tight, and I will show you in a second. I'm probably making you nauseous because I know this is sideways, so alright. Okie doke. So yeah, so you're just gonna pull it through and then pull your yarn tight and then go to the next, see, you gotta be careful. Go to the next stitch and pull it also, and then whenever you get to the end, you'll have two ends. Each end will be able to cinch, and that's what we're looking for. In just a second, I'll show you a hat that I made. Okay. Here's one that I made. So there's two layers. So like this is going to be, this is what was around this part. This isn't the same yarn, is it? No. Yes, it is. It is. Look how cool. It's like the cooking show. Like, and this is what we pulled out of the oven. Alright, so anyway, this is when I was still using waste yarn. Do not suggest unless you're working on certain things. So yeah, this is the one that was cast on first, and then this, we pull this over here, is the finished yarn and all of those things. So what you do is you just pull, like, cinch the two together, or cinch each end, pull one through, have a hat, pull it tight. Like I said, I will link the whole tutorial down below. Anyway, you have a hat, and then you can fold the brim or not, depending on how long. Like I said, I know on some hats I need to make them longer because some hats I've made 130, some hats I've made just different rounds because, because they're, oh my goodness, my hair though, because yeah, depending on the yarn and the stretch of the fibers and things. Sorry if you hear the heater in the back. It's currently sleeting and snowing. I think I mentioned that already, but yes, had it turned off for a minute and I turned it back on. But so I'm going to go ahead and pull all this out, cinch it off, make a hat, sew in the ends. I will put the tutorial so you guys can check that all out if you'd like to, so that way you know. There we go. Anyway, so that way you can, you know, make your own thing and figure out how long you need it to be. But I love this thing so much. Like I said, I'll usually take like a mandala cake and just do the whole entire thing and make those big giant scarves, and I've had lots of compliments on those scarves, and so I plan on making a few of those for my upcoming craft fair in just a few weeks. And so yeah, I love it. So the first one I really think was a one-off, with it being messed up and being kind of weird. I just realized I didn't plug my microphone in either, so I really hope you guys can hear all of this. All right, cool. So yeah, I think it was a one-off. Sent it back. Hope all is well with this one, and I will bring a crochet ramblings to you all before very long and show you guys what all I've made. So all right, so I thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you have a wonderfully blessed day. All the things will be linked below. I will talk to you all. Please stay safe, and I will talk to you all very soon.